Y'all, this is episode 29. Episode 29 is called Damn It, We're Still Inside. I feel like we had an episode called Still Inside already. Or maybe we should go, you know what? No, episode 29 is called Inside is Starting to Get a Little Better because Outside is Nuts. Let's go with that.
I'd definitely rather be inside.
Yeah. So, while people refuse to wear their masks or cover their noses when they wear their masks, DMX has gained quarantine weight, which is good to know that, he was focusing on food and not other things during this time. We figured out why it is that I hate verses so much. Here's a hint, it's not verses. And I thought the problem was the format and the platform, but it's not. Drake dropped some new music he could have kept. Cole dropped some new music that the verdict is out on. So yeah, we're going to talk about new singles. We're going to talk about new albums. We're going to talk about Taylor Swift's surprise drop, and we're going to break down these new partnership deals between TikTok and
the NMPA, Billboard and Triller, and Spotify and Universal.
So you guys are ready? Are people in here? I haven't jumped into this thing yet. So anyway, yeah, episode 29.
Yay.
Get into it. What's going on, everybody? We're still inside. Or we're back inside.
Yeah.
If you're smart. Outside is scary. New York is on phase 4 of their reopening. New York also, I think for the first time in 4 months, reported a day without any COVID deaths. Everybody else is fucked up.
Yeah.
Just New York.
Yep. Philly's actually getting worse, which means Jersey's getting worse. And yeah. We're not even going to talk about the South.
So Georgia's governor is suing Atlanta's mayor for requiring masks to be worn in the city of Atlanta. He's trying to put an injunction that says that as a city leader, she cannot have a more restrictive rule than what the governor has issued for the state. Plot twist, the mayors of Athens and Savannah also put on mask requirements for their cities and are not getting sued.
Nah, but, they're not potentially going to be the vice president of the United States.
They're also not black women or black at all, I don't think. Maybe maybe Savannah mayor.
Savannah's mayor is black.
Yeah. But then he turned around and actually asked Georgians to consider wearing a mask for 4 weeks.
But I'm not going to mandate it.
A bunch of public officials are meeting on Zoom to tell you to send your kids to school physically. I saw a flyer for a group of parents that want to come together to fight for their kids' rights to go to school physically this summer. This fall, which, in Georgia, the school year starts like the second week.
So are the parents going to be the substitute teachers?
This whole shit is a mess.
Because these teachers don't get paid enough as is. They definitely don't get paid enough to go in there and potentially die.
They do not. And the fact that we are living in a place where teachers are being encouraged to make wills and take out life insurance, or like my homegirl said, who is a teacher, I specifically didn't choose a job like firefighter or policeman or even doctor that would put me in the line of fire.
Right.
Of course, anything could happen to anybody. And with the way that the United States is with school shootings, being a teacher ain't been safe for a minute, but this is wild. Anyway, so my prayers are going out to you guys, to the multitude of people that are still losing family to COVID, to the multitude of people like myself who are having like legit panic attacks almost every time you go outside because people are fucking idiots. And, to other people who are just losing people because life be life in 2020 is a bitch, a mark ass bitch at that.
Mm. And once again, the big thing that you said, it's not you going outside being responsible. It's the people outside who don't give a shit about your life.
Exactly.
And that's the big problem. I don't mind going outside if I know I can take safety precautions or whatever. I trust myself. I just don't trust y'all because y'all don't care.
Y'all don't care. And I don't know how y'all don't care. Still. All right. So, I watched the versus battle, you guys.
She did. Aren't you guys proud of Ty? She came over to the dark side. Finally.
And I figured something out. I don't hate verses. I hate we have to crown somebody a winner. I hate anybody who doesn't agree with you is an idiot. I hate we're not actually comparing track for track. We're comparing nostalgia and bias for nostalgia and bias.
Right.
In real life.
Yep.
And here's the reason why I say that. So, of course, last night, for those of you who are under a rock or do not care about these types of things enough to follow them directly, last night was the battle between, it was the dog fight, right? It was the battle between DMX and Snoop Dogg. We were all very excited. Everybody said Snoop was going to wash X. Snoop did not wash X, but Cali niggas still want you to believe that it was a blowout.
Because they're from Cali.
Somebody said Snoop won 19-1.
That's the worst take I've ever seen in the history of verses. Snoop wouldn't say Snoop won 19-1.
He would not.
And let me just say, the dopest part about it, and I don't know how this is being lost on the actual audience. How do you watch two legends have a love fest for each other and y'all do nothing but hate?
Because for some reason, the narrative around DMX has become such that people are really poor little tinking DMX. So nobody's seeing two legends showing love to each other. The way that they're interpreting it today is, Snoop was so gracious to be so nice to poor, washed up DMX. It's so great to see DMX healthy. It's so great to see DMX doing his thing. And I'm like, I saw DMX on a stage last year.
Right.
At South by Southwest. Like, X been okay for a minute, y'all. Like, he looked worse last night than he did a year ago, honestly.
It's that quarantine, man. He's just eating good,
Listen, quarantine weight and gave DMX a whole baby. But,
if we take our shirt off, we look like the number 10.
Yeah, people did not see a love fest between two legends. People really saw, oh my God, Snoop is the greatest since sliced bread. And he was so kind to be so nice to DMX. And really, the battle we deserve was Snoop Dogg versus Jay-Z. Please.
So here, what? Okay. Anyway, so here's a question: Why don't we do that to Lauryn Hill? Because she only did one thing ever.
And X did more than one thing ever. Let me tell you something.
He did a lot of things.
So they went 20 rounds, of course. I would say in that 20 rounds, DMX played at least 4 songs that y'all niggas forgot about completely. The intro to It's Dark and Hell's Hot is the hardest fucking song ever. And he played that against Deep Cover. If we were honest, if we were actually saying, okay, bring your hits, now let's put these hits head to head and compare song for song. Intro beats Deep Cover. Was Deep Cover a bigger song? Of course it was a bigger song. It was the title track and the first single to a very popular movie. Yeah, it's a more popular song. But if I had never heard either of those songs before, and that's, I think, the ears that we need to, like, maybe we need to ban niggas over a certain age from judging these battles. And we just need to get like a young kid who's never heard any of this music to judge it. That's the only thing. That's the only way we can get a fair judgment.
That's interesting because, well, you got to ban New York niggas. You got to ban Cali niggas. You got to ban people that, like, for some of these, it's weird because, like, a lot of Southern people have a bias against anything Northern. So you'll get a lot of crazy takes from people, not everybody, but you get some crazy takes from people down south. Well, we ain't really, that's just the New York thing. That's just the boroughs. You know what I'm saying? So you'll get that. You'll get West Coast bias, which is oh, it's okay, but we understand that. We got to discount that. Like, oh, you from Cali. Somebody asked Crooked Eye, like, who you voting for? He said I'm from Long Beach. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Like, duh.
Like, what do you mean, dog? Like, but after they started and the music started playing, anybody who was actually around at that time, it got different. Then you realize, like, okay, maybe I forgot about this, or maybe this is a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I always thought
Right.
it was going to be close
Yeah, me
because
too.
I'm big fans. I'm a huge Snoop fan as a person, and we love Snoop for who he
Love Snoop.
is, right? Because Snoop has 600 albums, but we're not listening to all 600 Snoop
You're
albums.
not. And if
But
you
that's
tell
not
me
to
that
say
you
that.
are, you're a motherfucking liar.
But that's not to say that they're not good. We're just saying the relevancy of Snoop as a rapper hasn't lasted for everybody at the same time. But Snoop
Exactly.
as a person, and Snoop's moves, and Snoop just his overall everything has persisted while DMX has some issues. But we're not
And I
going to act
think that
like
even with
DMX.
DMX having issues, though, I don't think that we've ever dismissed DMX the way that, say, people dismiss Kanye, or the way that people at one point have dismissed what's damn, why am I
Well,
blanking on his
you
name?
can't because
The
DMX.
comedian pimp nigga.
Oh, Cat Williams.
Cat Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've never discarded X. Like, even with X's
Because DMX
troubles.
created a brand that still. DMX created a tree. People gonna need to realize him, DNY started that Rough Rider situation, and that still persists to this day. There would be no verses without DMX.
There you go.
Verses wouldn't
Because there
even
would be
be.
no Swiss
It
Beats
wouldn't even
without
happen. There
DMX.
would be no Swiss Beats without DMX. So
And
there
there
would
would
have
be
been
no
no
Swiss
Eve.
Beats
There'd
without
be
Get
no
At Me
Rough
Dog. And
Riders.
somebody actually sat there and told me that Get At Me Dog was a regional hit. Bruh,
What?
Get At Me Dog.
They played regional hits on MTV.
Get At Me Dog was a lead single to an album that sold 1 million copies in first week. And I think
In its
was the
first
first
week.
rap album to do that.
And that wasn't all New York, because in New York, here's the funny thing: when people say that, people in New York was bootlegging. So
First of all, I wasn't in New York when the song came out, so I'm already proof that it was
neither
bigger
was
than
I.
just a New York record.
So
I mean, you were close enough, as
was that 90? Yeah,
X,
well, I'm
as we
from.
said
Yeah,
yesterday, you were
I'm
in
only
South New York.
right. I'm 2 hours down the turnpike. The
Just
funny
like
part
to New
is,
York niggas, all of Cali is LA.
the wild thing is, you can get from Manhattan to Philly faster than you can get from Manhattan to the top of the Bronx.
That's true. That is real. Okay, so real quick things that I want to point out. Number one, before we go any further in this discussion, I wanted to be clear. I'm not saying that DMX won. DMX did not win, but DMX did not get washed either.
Right.
Okay. Two.
I didn't even do an official scorecard, but I had it close enough to me not to care who won.
Snoop deserves his flowers because it's a whole bunch of huge records. Y'all, Snoop did this and played 20 songs and didn't play I Wanna Rock. It's a lot of shit he didn't play.
He didn't play a lot, but I think it was dope because he was going with the vibe.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? This one felt more like Erica and Jill did, where they were kind of like having a conversation, sitting down, talking about their career, and then playing vibes. Like, okay, I was in this place. Like when X played Slippin', and he was like, this was my struggle song. And then Snoop played Murder Was the Case, and you remember, like, this man almost caught a body charge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he actually beat that case. The moment that they had between themselves, like, damn, dog, we went through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hip hop. That's hip hop as fuck.
And that's I think the prevalent spirit of what this whole versus thing is supposed to be. This is what it was when it was Swiss versus Timbaland. This is what it was when it was Primo versus RZA. This is what it was when it was Bounty Killer versus Beanie Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is what we want. Y'all in these fucking stupid ass scorecards and these I said what I said hot takes is what's ruining this shit for people like me.
I'm a competitive person, so I think that the banter is fun until it's not. And I think that there has to be a line because people cross that line. I take hip hop very seriously because this is my job. This is something I love. It's my culture. I grew up. I have moments like every DMX, every Snoop Dogg release, all these songs, they're like the soundtrack to my life, things that happen. So for people to dismiss one or the other, is kind of being dismissive of the culture as a whole, and it's disrespectful. And I think that those are the people who really ruin it.
Yes, absolutely. But again, I wish that we could. Oh, I also wanted to point out that both of them played records that they could have fucking kept.
They did.
Truly. I also want to point out that all these people that are like, oh, Snoop won the first 4 or 5 rounds. He played 2 actual Snoop Dogg records in the first 4 or 5 rounds. Like, he played a lot of features.
He did.
And he doesn't have to, because Snoop has, like you said, 675 songs. He didn't play Sensual Seduction. He didn't play I Wanna Rock. There's a lot of shit that he didn't play that he could have played instead of his verse on PIMP.
But I was glad he played that verse, because that's one of, that's a, if I had to go on his feature bag, that's one of my favorites. I'm glad he played Down for My Niggas, and he shouted out Free C Murder. I'm like, I wasn't mad, because Snoop was a part of a lot of those moments, and him just taking away from himself as an individual and say, I always was around dope creatives and made these things with other people, 213 with Nate Dogg and Butch and all those guys. Like, I thought that was a very big part of who Snoop is as well. Snoop has always been a team player, even though we know Snoop can stand on his own. But Snoop's that guy. Snoop is the perfect complement to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what it is, just throw Snoop on there.
So look, right? If we can get Lloyd Banks. Oh wait, Lloyd Banks and 50 are on the outs, right?
I guess.
Damn, I was gonna say if we could get Lloyd Banks and Young Dro to come in as surrogates for Tip and 50 Cent, that would be here for that battle. Because I'm still here for that battle musically. The problem is this: 50's a bully, and Tip, I think, will react in the worst way.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel like, and that's no disrespect. Again, I'm here for it musically. I think that that's probably the most even matchup that we will see in this battle. Y'all need to, and speaking of even matchups, y'all need to stop saying anybody needs to go up against Jay-Z, because no. Please. Let's just not. Maybe we could do before Black Album Jay-Z and then after Black Album Jay-Z. Maybe that, and even that wouldn't be fair.
I listened to 444. Nobody's going up against Jay-Z.
Nobody.
That album still sounds as good as the day it dropped.
You understand me? So
I listened to Family Feud. I was like, man.
But I feel like like I said, I really feel like 50 will be the asshole, and Tip will be the guy to shoot up the park instead of just grabbing his ball and going home. Like, he got to I'm not having a good time. Can't nobody. It would be almost as bad as The Dream and what's his face, minus anybody just being a washed up embarrassment.
Oh, Sean Garrett.
I'm sorry, Sean Garrett.
Well, Sean was just, not in his best light. Sean was not in his best light that evening.
God bless him. It was a weird, that one was still a weird battle. But overall, I think everybody is in agreement that this is top 2. This is top 2 verses ever. And we can all agree that this format of having people in the same room works way better.
Oh, absolutely. And it was funny because Swizz was trying to hide. I guess he didn't want people to know. It was funny when they got drunk and they started talking about the numbers. Because Swizz got in his corporate bag and was like, yo, we can't say this.
You can't say what?
Spotify. He's like, what's the numbers, nigga? Like, that was the ongoing joke. Like, Swizz kept, DMX kept saying, well, I can only see 10 niggas. I can only see 10 people. That was great. To try to fit all million of those people that's watching on one screen, that'd be some shit. And I love those two guys, man.
I don't know. It's weird. Like, this whole, oh my God, it's so good to see DMX doing well. And I'm like, y'all clearly were not paying attention.
Oh, man.
Because he's been okay for a minute.
803 said her boss is neighbors with Sean Garrett. HOA complaints abound.
I actually had to do an article for Scratch magazine, or it was either Scratch or XXL, but I had to spend the day with Sean Garrett once.
Okay.
It wasn't bad.
No, we interviewed him. He was a cool dude. He hung out with us for a couple hours. But the turn up. Some people turn up.
Some
people
turn
party
up
hard.
way too high. All right, we have given Versus all of its time for today.
Yes, we have.
Let's move on to some other things. Khaled. Did we talk about this? No, I think I talked about this on yesterday's news. So Khaled has always been consistent with an amazing single.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the album may not hit, but that first single, like you got to remember, "We Taking Over" is a Khaled single.
Mm-hmm.
"All I Do Is Win" is a Khaled single.
The joint with Rihanna.
Hmm?
The joint with Rihanna.
Bad Thoughts, or what is that? What's called? Wild Thoughts. Wild Thoughts is a Khaled. Shining. Like Khaled has yet to. Well, Khaled had yet to disappoint with a lead single from a project. Then 2020 got to 20ing, and shit, man. Khaled talked all his shit. Khaled is dropping a new album. It's called Khaled because in real life that's how you pronounce his name. It's Khaled. If I was Assad's little brother, I would feel away because Assad got a whole damn project. I don't know why the second project couldn't be called Father of Brother of Assad. I don't know. I don't even know that baby's name. Damn. Poor little baby Khaled. Anyway, and then he was like, boom, I got 2 singles with Drake. And we're like, oh, 2 singles with Drake, you say? Well, give them to us. Bruh.
All right, so Drake put out 3 singles this week. You didn't like any of them?
I could tolerate one of the Khaled singles. We had a conversation in late 2019 about Drake's UK flow.
Mm-hmm.
Just now.
Not for you.
No, not at all.
Got you.
I was thinking about yesterday while I was playing Just Dance with my niece. I was thinking about how I wish Drake would have stayed in his New Orleans bounce bag a little bit longer. Because the 2 songs that we got from that space were really good. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Drake's UK flow.
So I like Pop Star. I don't love it. I really like Grease, and then I found out it wasn't The Weeknd.
Exactly.
Listen. I'm writing the article up, and I'm like, oh my God, they didn't credit The Weeknd. Like, it's uncredited. Like, I'm put The Weeknd in the title and everything. And then I went and I looked, and I'm like, it's not The Weeknd.
No, it's not. Abel is nowhere near this.
It sounds just like The Weeknd. It's
100%.
You literally did the whole Weeknd thing.
It was 100%.
Even saying where you're from, like, the whole way you did that was
like you could have gave this to The Weeknd and let him shine.
Like, and y'all supposed to be cool now, so why would you do this?
Yeah, I'm not. So I think of the 2, I felt like Grease was the better record.
Yes.
I can't remember. Honestly, I guess now I feel bad because now I feel like I should have went back and listened to them again. I definitely know that when I listened to them, I felt like one of them, out of the 2, only one of them really had the potential to really be big, and it might still be big. It's probably not going to get big on the strength of urban radio. It'll probably get big on the strength of all the pop stations that play G-Eazy records.
Right.
Urban Light. Or Easy Listening Urban. Easy Listening. Whew. But yeah, I wasn't impressed. And then he turned around like 2-3 days later and he linked up with Heady One. And y'all should have seen it. Sis sees me click on the song and starts laughing. And I'm like, why are you laughing? Man, your boy Drake jumped in with some random West Indian ad-lib. And I was like, oh shit, Drake done found a Haitian friend because he jumped in with a boy. And I was like, nah, bro, don't, just no. And then, yeah, I don't think I got 10 seconds in. So you're going to have to tell us about that record.
It's another UK ground record. So, yeah.
That's that on that.
You know, it lives in that, like, this is London drill grime. It's not that stuff they're doing in Brooklyn. This is like traditional. So the flow is really similar to what he was doing on War, which is really similar to the artists who he's being influenced by, people like Headie One in that whole UK scene. This is a record that's more for the UK, I think, than for American audiences.
I have
But
a question.
as we're consuming, more music from over there, we're gonna weigh in because obviously we think we own Drake.
My question is this: is it not possible for Drake to get on that kind of a beat and I don't know what I just plugged in or unplugged. Oh, fun!
We lost you.
Sorry, guys. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but your camera, it's just me.
Because I remember last time I had to like leave out and come back for the camera to come back, but we'll see.
Hopefully not.
Huh?
I said hopefully not. Just hit the stop audio. Well, the little up arrow next to the stop audio.
Oh, the start video button.
Yeah,
that's what I need to do. Okay. Cool. As I was saying, is it possible for Drake to hop on a grime beat with
and
a
not
grime
rap in
artist
a grime style
and not copy their flow?
Well, grime has a very particular rap style. Shout out to my homie Scatter, who just released a grime album in the UK called Hardships. Grime is a very specific style of rap, very specific delivery. I mean, within grime, I'm sure people have their own, but it is what it is. It's like, am I going to get on a reggae beat and not? I'm just going to rap regular. Like
no,
I
but
could.
you can have the cadence without trying to speak patois.
So once again, I'm going to just go back to the fact that Drake and patois, for me, whatever his Canadian version of patois is, that's what he thinks is natural to him. Some people don't agree with that. Other people just say that's how Canadians are. So I'm just going to leave it there.
Wait, hold on. Let's take a quick little pause. Let me close Zoom and come back.
Cool.
Sorry, guys.
And I'm going to take this opportunity to kick a freestyle. No, I'm not.
Please do. I can listen still.
Nah, because I'm not going to rap the way they was rapping yesterday. That was the funniest part, bro. When they kicked back and just start doing the old black men at the cookout freestyle with the cup and everything, man, that was a good time. But yeah, no, I mean, it's funny because I always defer to my UK homies. Always defer to stop it, Ty. I always defer to y'all can get my new single if you want it though, coming out soon. It's gonna be on all platforms, you know what I'm saying? You dig me? But nah, I refer to my UK homies when it comes to the UK drill vibe. So I'm gonna have to holler at Big J and see what he thinks. If we got any UK homies out there, let us know what y'all think. Yeah, Polaris, he did. DMX did do that on Top Shotter. But he wasn't trying to be, I mean, it's DMX, he wasn't trying to be like authentic to like, he wasn't trying to be a reggae artist. He was being DMX. So, it's funny though, because DMX got a very distinct style, but he still kind of switched up the flow a little bit. Like the cadence was different, you know what I mean? But that was a good joint. Well, yeah, that's a rap over a sample. Like that's J Mills rapping over. Like I'm talking about like if like somebody was doing a song with like Koffee and they was trying to be like a reggae artist. But you're right. You're right. Polaris is right. It's been done. I'm sorry, Drake. I'm trying to help you out. But I'm good with Drake's war flow. It is what it is. It's not for everybody. So shout out to everybody out there watching us in IG, man. Look at Ty hanging out on Instagram with the people.
I'm back.
Welcome. Shout out to everybody out there watching.
You still can't see me. What the?
No, just turn your camera on.
What the blood?
Are you using the USB one?
Yeah, I am, because my other one doesn't work anymore at all.
Is it showing up?
It's asking me if I want to start video, and then it keeps freezing on me. This is fun.
When
Zoom.
you select the camera,
Zoom is sick of our shit.
Zoom's like, I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of Zoom. I can't wait to get back outside to the studio
Like,
so we can
remember when people
record
were
this
talking about
live.
how like their dogs were tired of them?
Shadi, what's good, bro? Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
people's
I think
dogs are tired of them? Yeah, I can see
yeah,
that.
people were saying that like their dogs were looking at them like, my nigga, why are you still here?
Why
Like,
are
why
you not going to work? You're normally at
go?
work. Like, why are you here? I'm
Have you
trying to,
not seen Secret Life of Pets? Like, I got shit to do, my nigga. Like,
yo,
I'm
just
stuck in the
ruining
crib.
life, right? Absolutely ruining
Yeah, I
life.
don't know what's happening with Zoom and my camera. My camera is showing on, but Zoom is not responding.
Zoom's a hater.
You guys, this is what happens when you watch the live taping of a show.
Yay.
Yo, Shadi, I mean, like, how you just gonna say hi to Sis? And I mean, I don't know who you are, sir. I'm sorry.
That's
Um,
my guy from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Gun rule.
Ah, see? See?
Well, because you know, Willie the Kid is one of my favorite people on this planet.
Oh, okay, there you go.
If y'all see him, y'all tell him I said that, and I really mean it. Any things or people. All
So,
right, I'm trying to close. I'm trying to
and,
close some screens because Zoom is still telling me it's not responding.
so in the meantime, can I talk about Krayshawn?
Oh my God! Yes, let's talk about Krayshawn.
So listen, my love for Krayshawn has not been well documented enough. We are friends on Twitter. I'm one of her biggest fans, always have been since she started. Um, so apparently she just started popping because the internet decided to talk about how Iggy Azalea
No,
and
no, no.
Bad Baby wouldn't exist.
Somebody found Gucci Gucci. This is the
Somebody
funny thing.
found Gucci. Oh, like
Yeah,
a
there's
young
a lot
kid
of
just
like
said, "Hey,
one hit wonders, one hit records that these kids are just now starting to discover. Like, remember last week we were talking about how kids found Arab money? Oh, I'm sorry, we
what?"
had to change the pronunciation to Arab money. Um, so somebody found Gucci Gucci and
Right.
posted it, and then the internet proceeded to school them to the fact that Krayshawn changed the game, and she really, really did.
Absolutely. Shout out to
Um,
Krayshawn and V Nasty.
what I think was interesting was I think Krayshawn was, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to restart Zoom. I think Krayshawn was a turning point from when labels started giving people single deals to when they
Yeah.
started giving you a actual record deal off of buzz.
Yeah.
So,
So
okay, let me restart while you continue to tell them what happened this week with Krayshawn and how you love her.
cool. So Krayshawn was rediscovered by the young internet, by the Instagram generation, and us from the blog generation said Krayshawn's been here for a while. If it wasn't for Krayshawn, you wouldn't have artists like Iggy Azalea, etc. Bad Baby. She kind of paved the way. She also did a lot of work with one of my favorite joints. She did a Trippy with Juicy J, but Gucci Gucci was her big hit. She signed a record deal, and her label was pretty trash. And she's been pretty outspoken about it. She's still out here creating art, but she said, "Don't buy Gucci Gucci or stream it. I get $0, and I am in debt to Sony for $800,000." So you can follow Krayshawn at Krayshawn. She's got a lot of art. She's an activist. She's doing a lot of other
You
stuff.
gotta spell you gotta
But
spell her name for these people.
KREAYSHAWN, Krayshawn. Um,
Which always tripped me out because my best friend's name is Krishan. And it was a name, and of course, well, I mean, not of course, but like my best friend's a black girl from Jacksonville,
mm-hmm.
whose parents got her name in Germany. That's where she was born.
Ah, interesting.
She spells it differently, but like the fact that the next time I heard that name was a white girl from Oakland.
From Oakland, and she from
From
Oakland,
Oakland.
Oakland.
Oakland,
She from
Oakland.
the real Oakland.
Oh my
So
God.
that
Y'all
was that
Zoom
was
not letting me be
always
great today, you guys.
that was always the dope thing about her. I think it was her, Little Debbie, and V Nasty. It was the white girl mob. So, and they
And
was
that's what
they
they were
was
called at the time.
that's what they were called at the time.
And
So
see, I don't even think it's fair to say they paved the way for Iggy because I don't think that Iggy falls in that, like, followed in their footsteps. I think
I think the
they
kind of
opened the
music
door
she
for them
takes.
two little problematic joints that are out there now.
Well, definitely Bad Baby, but I
Bad
think
Baby.
so. Here's the thing. I think when Iggy first came out, she tried to be that because we listened to songs like Murder Biz and all that stuff. Like that was Iggy trying to be a gangster.
Yeah, but I think Iggy trying to be gangster was Iggy trying to be a black man. She was trying to be Tip. I don't think it was Iggy trying to be a white girl who
I don't
is,
know. I think
you know,
Tip was trying to sell
arguably
her.
of the culture.
I think Tip was trying to sell her as a white gangster.
Yeah. But see, and that's the difference. Like, I think that, like, you know, if we go back and we look at the history of white girls in rap or whatever, and there was an article that popped up this week where MC Search was talking about the girl who won the white rapper show. I can't think of her name right now.
I want to say
But
that was that's V Nasty.
Be Nasty, yeah.
Yeah, she's from the white girl mob.
Like, I think that there's always that thin line, and I don't even think we can say just white girls who rap. I think it's just white rappers.
Well, who's the other girl that was on that show who was also on another show? Portia.
Portia. I used
Yeah,
to
I
be
remember.
friends with Portia on Twitter. I
I
think I
knew
might
Portia.
still be. I think
Look,
I'm gonna
I
tweet her
remember
and see
Portia
if
from New
Portia.
York. She used to be on the
Yeah.
showcase scene with us. Like,
Yes.
but it
And
wasn't a
that's how
lot
I
of.
met her.
It wasn't a lot of folks like Portia though. Like that wasn't. It wasn't a big thing. It wasn't a lot of like gangster white girl rappers.
And also Portia was Persian at a time where y'all didn't really know how to distinguish between Persian women and
That's right.
Italians.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
definitely, because everybody thought she was Italian. Like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. You know, she must be from
Um,
Queens. Like,
wait, was that her name? Was it Portia or was it Persia?
Persia.
I
I
think it might have
want
been
it. I
Persia.
think it's Persia. Yeah, Persia.
Um, are you guys okay with just like seeing Scissor's face and hearing my voice because Zoom just really will not let me be great?
We'll rock with this for a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, your skin is absolutely glowing.
I mean,
I
you know,
mean,
I be
you
drinking water or
melanated.
whatever.
You melanated something extra today. You must have.
I went to the beach. I didn't lay
Oh,
out because there were way too many people. Listen, man, fuck Florida as a staff record label and crew.
my nigga, I was praying for
Particularly,
you. I
fuck the
was praying
Panhandle.
for you.
Huh?
You went to Floribama. I was praying for you.
I was praying for myself. Like, I got there and had a whole nervous breakdown, bro. Like, when I tell you, and even, you know, my best friend drove over from Jacksonville with her son, and her son, the 14-year-old, got into Panama City Beach and was like, what's wrong with people in this part of Florida? Why is nobody wearing a mask? Literally, less than 5% of the people that I saw were wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize. I mean, it was a lot of shit. But like, yeah, I went to the beach. I didn't lay out because I was scared of people, but I did like get a floaty and sit on the floaty. So, you know, I got some sun. So yeah, I am
Yeah,
glowing.
you know, it's like my grandma used to say, "Boy, you got black."
I love it. Listen, when I was little, we used to actually put on baby oil and go sit in the sun in Haiti. So I'm
Van
always
Van,
here. Like, I
Van
don't feel like
Gammon
I got
said you
enough of a
risk.
tan.
Van Gammon said you risked it all for the glow.
I didn't risk it all for the glow. I risked it all for family, honestly and truthfully. And I spent the whole weekend wishing I would have stayed home, to be honest. I ain't
See,
even
that's
gonna
the thing,
hold you. I
bro.
ain't even gonna
So
hold you. I spent the whole weekend like my dog is boarded. Like me and the puppy would have been chilling on the couch. I got a new couch. It's space for us. She could stretch out. I could stretch out. Like
are
we
we
could
are
have
we
watched.
finding new ways to love our homes? Like, is that what we're
Man,
doing?
my backyard is popping.
Listen, I keep rearranging furniture,
I'm gonna
and
sit
it
inside
feels
from
brand
my
new.
Florida for 14 days or for 7 more days, and then I want you to come sit in the backyard with me one day.
I
My
bet
backyard is popping.
I'll do it.
All right, so back to Krayshawn. So not only did she say that she doesn't get any money off of Gucci, she said she owes the label eight
eight
hundred thousand
hundred
dollars.
thousand dollars in debt. How does that happen? Well, we know how it
It
happens,
happens because you got an album deal and an advance. I
and
would
they charge
assume.
you. Well, not even just that, because she didn't. I'm pretty sure she didn't see that much money personally. But what they do is they charge you for every little thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they charge you for videos, promotion. They charge you for studio time. They charge you for everything, and you have to recoup before you see $1 of that money.
And there
So
was actually an actual album released for digital download on September 14th, 2012. It
there
was a
was.
digital download and it was a Hot Topic exclusive.
a Hot Topic exclusive. They put this child's music in Hot Topic. That's what they thought was going to get her album to sell.
So I need y'all to understand um, the short-sightedness of some of these label execs. Because, like, let's think about what 2012 was like, for those of you who are old enough to remember 2012 in great detail. Um, Gucci went viral, and they did not think that it went viral off of Black people, because the average Black person in Krayshawn's audience at that time, which I think Krayshawn's audience was what, like 14 to 20?
Yes, it was.
The average Black kid, 14 to 21 in 2012, does not know what the fuck a Hot Topic is, my nigga. They don't know.
No, not at all.
In 2020, they don't know. You have to be in a particular type of neighborhood, have a particular type of friends, and go to malls
Right.
to know what a Hot Topic is.
I go to Hot Topic.
I know what Hot Topic is. I remember Spencer, and I don't know if they're the same and they merged.
It sounds familiar. That's a good thing. Let me check that
See,
out.
Spencer Gifts is what, that's the place that had like the weird pop culture based things. Like I remember one summer I freaked my aunt out because I bought this little thing where you could press the buttons and it said all of the catchphrases from the characters from South Park. So for like a month, my voicemail was, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny, you bastards." And my and my aunt called my phone 7 times in one afternoon because she just could not understand what the fuck was happening. But yeah, they put her album in Hot Topic. They made it a digital download, which again in 2012 required a different life because you weren't downloading music to your phone like that in 2012, were you?
I was, because I'm a nerd.
What iPhone were we on in 2012?
I don't know, because I wasn't on an iPhone.
When did the first Galaxy come out?
Oh, that was 2010, I want to say.
Because I want to say 2012. Did I still have a BlackBerry in 2012? No, I didn't have a BlackBerry in 2012. Like, I really can't remember. I know dating apps were a thing in 2012. Fuck you, mind your business.
Well, that was like Match.com back
That was
then.
OkCupid and Plenty of Fish. So we were evolving past that.
Oh, yeah, POF, definitely.
POF and
okay, cool. So in
then.
2012, I had an HTC.
Yeah, I think I did too.
I had that was when 4G first came out. Around that time, 2010 to 2012 was when 4G really first started popping.
So people still had iPods.
Yeah. Barely.
And we weren't counting streams as sales yet. So I can imagine that whatever money was put into this Krayshawn album that came out in 2012 with a feature from Kid Cudi and a feature from 2 Chainz and production by Diplo and whatever samples were on there and so on and so forth. Like I can imagine. Then she went on tour. She went on a Gucci tour. Yeah, but 800,000, man, like damn.
800,000.
Hurts your heart.
Crazy.
Did you go listen to her new stuff?
I listen to her stuff all the time. I follow her on SoundCloud. So I keep up with Cray. She's dope. Like I said, when she did that song with Juicy J, that was fire. If you haven't heard We Trippy, go listen to it.
Man.
Yes.
You trippy, man.
That was my joint.
Should we try to reboot Zoom one more time?
Peace. Yeah, go for it.
Peace. I'm gonna.
So in the meantime, in 2012, the iPhone 5 released.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yep, and the Samsung originally released in 2009. So the Galaxy series has been going since 2009. Yeah, so iPhone 5 was the first with Lightning and LTE support. So that's when LTE first started popping. We just got fast enough to start doing things that were like super intensive, watching a lot of videos and all that kind of stuff. That's when that really became a big thing. So yeah, well, actually, no, I'll take that back. It happened before that, but that's when Apple started doing it. So, because we know that's how it goes. Hey, shout to Raleigh in the building. Mm-hmm. Got a lot of homies in Raleigh, man. My girl Coco Filipina out there on the radio. Pick up to the poorhouse, man. I miss it. So yeah, technology's come a long way, but they totally hosed Krayshawn by making her album hot, nah, a hot topic release. Like, who does that? So if you're out here and you're an artist, be careful signing label deals. Make sure you know what you're liable to pay for. Okay, and also understand that if you put an album out, that album has to recoup before you get paid for the album. Right? You got to pay for all the producer costs. You got to pay for the clearances. You got to pay for the features. You got to pay for the promo. You got to pay for everything. And then once you make that money back in sales,
Hi,
then you could
guys.
possibly make
Okay,
some money.
sorry.
Hey, look, it's Ty again.
Fixing my bangs because my bangs bother me deeply.
Cool. So we just had a lesson in what not to do so that you don't end up like Krayshawn.
Which I think is a good place for us to transition into what the fuck is going on with TikTok and Triller and Spotify this week.
I don't know because it's
Because I trust you on things like that. And so I was like, I wanted us to do an article to break it down, but I don't know these things. So before I
so
got to reading and trying to understand, I was like, let me just ask Sis.
all right. So here we go.
Teach us, Sis. Teach us. I feel like that should be a new segment.
Because the music business is so shady, and
Mm.
it's never stopped being shady. And they publish these articles, and they say, "Hey, this person did this person did that." Right. The real question is, how do these things benefit music creators? Right.
Right.
So let's start with the easy one: Billboard and Triller. Right. So Billboard and Triller announced that they have these new charts, and it's called the Billboard Triller whatever. They got a global chart and a US chart.
Because the
So
Billboard Twitter chart is doing so well since it was
right.
launched.
So first of all, somebody at Billboard is trying to be relevant. They're trying to appeal to a younger audience. They're trying to capture that TikTok audience. Um, they've been rooting for Triller for a while now, publishing pro Triller articles. And I get it, but I don't understand what the point is of just doing a Triller chart. It
Right.
discounts, like, if you're going to do a chart that takes into account both Triller and TikTok and any other type of video performance platforms, because
Yes.
you're not really giving an accurate picture. Like, what's the point? Like, I don't
Which
get it. Like,
they have a social chart though.
so what's the point of this? What's the point of branding this? Why? What's the
Right.
point? I'll tell you what's the point is: money.
Here's my thing though.
Somebody got paid.
Because for a minute, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm old, like my niece the other day was quite um what's the word? Distraught
Mm-hmm.
because she saw TikTok on my phone and she said to me, TikTok is for us. It's not for the boomers of the internet. Because
Oh no! So
I'm a
you were
boomer of the
infringing.
internet.
You were infringing on her age group.
And she ain't lying. Like I am an internet boomer. Like I'm a AOL chat room person. I'm really
Facts.
low key watching. Black Planet said they about to come back, and I'm watching.
I've been paying attention, but it don't look like they're coming back.
No. They just tweeted this like recently. Like
Yeah,
this.
I've been watching their developments. It looks a mess, but whatever they say.
Yes, Stuck B. I am old. I'm 40.
But here's the problem. The problem is my problem with journalistic outlets like Billboard and like others doing these types of articles and having these types of situations. These are branded situations. So just be transparent and let people know that you've actually entered into a some kind of media partnership with these people, and you're going to speak well of them and do things that's branded. It's a sponsorship,
Which is whack.
plain and simple. It's a
Because here's the
sponsorship.
thing in journalism, there is such a thing as an advertorial. And what that is an actual article, but an article that somebody paid for. And it says advertorial. If you go on like variety.com, you will see certain articles that will pop up every, let's say, 10 news articles, you'll see that same headline come up. But it says at the very top in the corner that this is an ad or that it's been sponsored or whatever. Like, I don't like it. And then, also, like I said, if I recall correctly, there was a point where people were recording content on Triller and other platforms and then putting it on TikTok or Instagram, which prompted Instagram to change some of the shit that they were doing. So yeah,
So they're coming out with the fake. They're coming out with their version of Triller and TikTok soon. So they're working on that.
Oh, God damn it. I did it again, you guys. I'm so... Jesus Christ. I am a boomer. Fuck it. I'll own it. Oh, gosh. I also got yelled at cursing too much when I was up there.
So, yeah. But that's one of the big things is like, oh, no. We lost you again.
I'm still here. You just can't see me.
Oh, yeah, no. But, like, yeah, we can hear you. But it's a problem because I read another article on DJ Booth this week, and it was about publishing, right? And it was an advertorial for TuneCore, right? How do I know that? Because TuneCore tried to get us to do one. And I'm okay with TuneCore giving out information. I'm not okay with TuneCore positioning themselves and leaving out information that's vital to you getting your money. So what TuneCore didn't do, it was oh, this is all you need about your publishing. Well, listen, if you're talking about publishing, you're talking about mechanicals, and you don't mention companies like Harry Fox, you don't mention music reports, then you aren't actually telling people how to get all their money. You're just telling people that they should come sign up with you so you can get them whatever money you can get so you can get their money. And that's not okay.
Right. It's kind of like the thing that we did with CD Baby last year in A3C.
Right.
They gave us some great material,
mm-hmm.
but you added in the fact that like this is not proprietary to CD Baby.
Exactly.
The way that they present that information, the way that they present the information, which makes sense for any brand, is they make it seem like you're not going to go like other than Progressive that tells you that they will show you their rates and their competitors'
and
rates
so
that you can make an informed decision. Typically, nobody's going to do that. That's why sites like in Hotel Tonight or whatever flourish, is because they're going to go in and tell you, yeah, this rental car is this much as Avis, but it's that much at Hertz, and it might be that much at Hertz at the airport, but it's going to be cheaper at Hertz, in the suburbs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that makes sense. When you, as a media outlet that's covering these brands, start to not, like, you have an obligation, and this is the thing that kind of prompted me to start doing my little news brief that I do. Part of it was because when I listened to the news in the morning, I couldn't find anything that was, there's nothing out there that was urban entertainment. There was very limited shit that was entertainment news. Billboard has a news brief that they do, that they publish around like 5, 6 p.m. every evening. And that covers all music. But you're not going to find one that's really focused on all entertainment. Every once in a while, if there's a big enough story, it'll pop up in other feeds or whatever. But the other reason why I wanted to do it is, going back as far as, like, I haven't done Cool People I Know or really the download in the format that I used to do it probably in 2-3 years now.
Right.
But going back that far, I had a very, very hard time finding proper coverage of news stories. And even now, I'm still having a hard time finding proper coverage. What I mean by that is, okay, let's say, we talk about, what's a good example? We talk about this DJ Khaled and Drake, these two releases or whatever. Right. For you to have an article that only talks about these two songs and Khaled's new album, and it doesn't mention the songs they've done before, it doesn't mention that this is Khaled's 8th, 9th studio album, it doesn't mention any of that additional information, is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. For you as a news outlet to say like, oh, Triller's doing all these wonderful things and not talk about, like, if you go to Music Business Worldwide and they run a story about Spotify if they covered the new deal between Spotify and Universal, I guarantee you that they're going to mention other companies that are trying to move up in the podcasting world. They're going to mention what kind of money and deals Spotify has done in the last year or two. They're going to mention what kind of deals Universal has done in the last year or two.
Right.
So, we just want y'all, like, I think people take for granted that there's access to so much information on the internet available that they don't feel like they have to present all of the facts in one place.
Yeah. Well, I also, to run back to DJ Booth's situation, I don't know if DJ Booth knows that the information that they were given is not the totality of the information, because they're not an expert on music publishing. And when people go and present certain information as, okay, this person's an expert, well, they may not be, and it's not just them, but that's just the latest example. But when I see a lot of these branded articles and I see a lot of this information that's being given, it's a slippery slope, because there are people who are dependent on this to be accurate. And you literally could read that article, think that you could just do this with them and miss out on actual money. Because I'm just going to tell you guys, if you're not signed up with Harry Fox, you are not collecting all your money. Harry Fox is the company that collects the mechanical royalties in the United States. They also issue licenses for covers for all venues and things like that in the United States. So if you're not with Harry Fox as a non-affiliate or as an affiliate, you are missing out. Facebook just did a deal with Harry Fox. We just signed an agreement with them. All the members signed an agreement. They have a $65 million pool or something like that of money, of music that's been used on Facebook, that they're going to give out to creators based on your market share with Harry Fox. So that's actual money. If you're not signed up with them, you're not going to get that. TikTok just announced that they're doing a deal with the NMPA. Just because you put your music on TikTok.
What is the NMPA?
The National Music Publishers Association.
Thank you.
So just because you put your music on TikTok, first of all, if you put your music on TikTok, you should be getting paid.
Get
right?
paid.
If your music goes anywhere and people are listening to it, it's generating income for somebody. TikTok is making money off of your music, so they owe you to pay out. And the way that happens in the United States and everywhere really is you have these societies and these companies who collect money on behalf of the artists, and you have to sign up with these companies to get your money. So it's not just about signing up with a PRO. You need to have a publishing company, and I'm going to say you can go to publishing admin companies out here that collect all of your royalties, but just make sure that they're collecting everything, because there's a lot of money being left on the table. And if you make music, we don't want you to miss out on your money. TikTok is an amazing opportunity right now, and Triller. These are amazing platforms for growth right now for artists, but you got to understand how you get paid from them. So pay attention. New deal alert with TikTok, the NMPA. Go to the NMPA's website, figure out how you can get involved, how you can possibly get a piece of that money, and put your music on TikTok and let people go crazy with it.
And then the last deal that was announced this week is between Spotify and Universal.
Oh my God! Listen, Spotify.
How is this different from back in the day when all of the labels signed their deals with SoundCloud and all of our content got pulled off?
It's not. And this is the second deal. They signed a deal in 2017, so this is actually their new deal.
Is this like a re-up, a renegotiation? Yes,
it's a re-up with some new terms.
Okay.
So Spotify is launching, I forget the name of it, but they're launching a platform that provides, it's basically a marketing platform, a digital marketing platform through Spotify to promote your music. And what they want to do is they want to sell it to the artists on this label. So people like The Weeknd and stuff are already using it, and they want to make it available. Now, remember, if you're an indie artist, this is not about you, but it might be about you. And I'm going to get to that in a second. A major label is negotiating a deal. One of the big three is negotiating a deal that we're all going to have to live with, right? Unless you're a member of somebody like Merlin, or these other people who represent indies, right? Reach Records, their deals are negotiated by Merlin. So
Okay.
let's get back on IG because a lot of people were into this information. So I don't want to let anybody miss out on this stuff. But
Yeah, we should have put a note on there.
it's a shady, shady world. When we're doing exclusive deals, and I'm not a fan of exclusive deals because they benefit a few people and they hurt everybody else because they set a precedent and a standard. Um, so they've signed that deal with Universal, right? And Universal signing the deal with Spotify, right? But Spotify is only 36% of the market.
Really?
They don't control it's not like Spotify controls like 70% of streaming market or, even
Okay, so
50% or whatever.
they're just the big when it comes to podcasting.
Right. Well, no, I mean, as far as streaming, they have the biggest piece of the pie,
Okay.
but they don't have the whole pie. So if let's just say you did the Spotify for artists thing, right? And you're getting Spotify analytics and you buy into the whole Spotify ecosystem, you're
Mm-hmm.
still missing about 64% of everything else that's going on with your
Right.
music because when you distribute, you don't distribute just through Spotify.
Right.
So it's weird. We got Spotify top charts and all this stuff. My dude, give me the charts. Stop giving me these branded charts.
Yes.
Because I need to know what my music's doing on Apple Music. I need to know what my music's doing on all these other places as well.
So let
And
me ask you a question. Is there insofar, and I've kind of been outside of that space for a second, is there or do any of the digital distributors actually give you all that information, all that analytic information in one place?
no.
Because I know that Pandora, the way that Pandora's AMP platform is set up, definitely pushed, I think, everybody else to make theirs a little bit more user friendly. Pandora lets you access your shit for free, but most of you guys are not pushing your music on Pandora, so you get on there and you probably get discouraged because your numbers don't look great, or your
So
music wasn't being properly serviced to Pandora to begin with.
so if you go through CD Baby or TuneCore, they provide dashboards that have the information, but they don't provide all of the information to you. It's
Okay,
not comprehensive. It's not every streaming service, right?
gotcha.
Just I'm in the middle of opening up a distribution channel, and the things that I've learned about how it works in the back end, you don't see all your stuff.
Right.
There's no transparency. They give you a bit of it, and there
Yes.
are companies out here like Jamber who are trying to build solutions to where you can get all of your streaming numbers delivered to you in your Chrome browser. You could just hit a Chrome tab and see all of your numbers, all of your money, all of your streams from everywhere in one
Okay.
place. But the problem is fragmentation. Everybody has their own thing. It's like, oh, okay, well, Ty's doing her thing. I'm over here in the corner doing my thing. So I'm gonna cut a deal with somebody for my benefit. And what happens is we're all over the place as artists. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? You gotta go look at Spotify, and then you gotta go over here and go over there and
And
join this
and we
program and
encourage
join
you
that
to do
program.
that because the reality of it is that there are still people who are, like while some of y'all maybe weren't paying attention to Pandora until they started kind of putting themselves in front of urban audiences specifically or in front of artists specifically last year. Pandora was still doing like ridiculous numbers globally or whatever. There
Absolutely.
are people, I am one of those people that is a freaking Google Play loyalist. Like, they prompted me to shift all my shit to YouTube Music, and I acted like the oldest old man when I got over there. I was like, what?
Did you
What
do
is
it?
this? How come I can't clear the queue? Oh,
Did
this
you
is bullshit.
transfer?
I'm going back.
Did you transfer your data?
I transferred it.
Okay.
But what
I
happened
feel
was
good
I
about it.
asked it to play a song. It made a station, and then I had to go through and delete track by track. Fuck that. Let me just go back over here where I can just clear my queue or just play one single song. I'm gonna play around with it. I'll probably try,
I'm
but
not
I'm just
mad
saying.
at it though. I'm glad to see that my music is still there, and I
Yes,
like the way
I appreciate
that
that.
is. So I get it, but
But
they did a
the
decent
point
job,
being though that like everybody has their favorite platform for whatever reason.
and that's
Um,
fine. But the platform should not control the creative side of things. I'm okay with
absolutely.
the customer and the listener. You can choose your radio station or whatever it is, whatever platform you want to use. But on the back end, if I'm an artist and I distribute my music and I'm trying to see where all my bread is, And the fact it's fragmented. And I'll give you another deal that happened. So there's a company called Sound Exchange. The Sound Exchange collects non-interactive royalties for artists and producers.
And what does that
So
mean?
they collect on non-interactive would be like Stitcher or Pandora, or places where like you're not actually selecting the music. You might have like or internet radio, like iTunes Radio or something like that. So
Okay.
Live 360 or one of those radio stations, and
Okay.
they collect a lot of money. But what they did was when they established that, I think one of the first things they did was they gave Fantasia a check for $1.3 million
Good Lord.
of money that she hadn't done it. And every year they're at South by Southwest with a big banner of all these artists who are doing South by Southwest who they have money for. So they've always been that company.
I know
But what
South
they
by.
did was they built a system to keep track of all the IRSC codes, which is basically your song gets a number, like the Dewey Decimal System in the library, but for
Or the
music.
ISBN number in a book.
Exactly, right. So I said Dewey Decimal. I'm so old. So, but basically, what it does is they built this comprehensive system on their own. They didn't ask anybody. They just went and did it.
Right.
And people started using it. So yesterday, well, not yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, the RIAA, which is the Recording Industry Association of America, named them the official ISRC giver. So that fragmentation is gone. And then the International Recording Association said, yes, that's good. Because now you can go find out all your information in one place. And that's what we should be able to do. If Ty puts out music, Ty should be able to go one place and see all her stuff.
Yep.
So that's what these deals threaten our ability to do that, right? Because we don't have a union. We don't have anybody negotiating on our behalf, right? For the average creator. Because most of the music industry is independent creators.
Yep.
Right? It's not people signed to record labels. That's a very small portion, right? There's a company called Merlin I want y'all to look up. They call themselves the fourth major because they represent indie people, indie recording labels, indie situations. They're called Merlin, Merlin. And they negotiate on behalf of the small people because that's the bigger pie of recorded music, right? If you go on Spotify or whatever, everybody in a week you're dropping a bunch of singles from people who are local, who have moderate fan bases. They're getting moderate plays or whatever, and they're trying to come up. But that's the majority of the music out there. It's like most of the cars on the road are not Lamborghinis. Most of the cars on the road are not, race and whatever. But those are what we talk about. But in real life,
if you broke it down, most of the Mercedes on the road are not G-Wagon.
Exactly. They're the new $30,000 ones.
I just want y'all to pay attention to some of the conversations that happened though, because Variety.com ran an article the other day that was called "If Drake Goes Independent, the music business is done." This is what Steve Stout said.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Steve Stout has a reason to want to push people to go independent, right? Because Steve Stout is the head of United Masters. United Masters is an independent distribution avenue. We talked about how they launched this subscription model now where it actually kind of makes more sense for you to do the subscription model because you pay them a flat fee. You get to keep all of your royalties, and then they distribute you to like something like 23 different platforms versus when you go in and do the split with them, you only get your music only gets serviced to like 4 or 5 places like SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, and like one other place.
Which is crazy. But
which is retarded.
But what I like about how Steve pitches it, Steve is very much an advocate for what he built this platform on. He built his platform as a solution to a problem.
Right.
Not necessarily as we're a company looking to make money. I mean, he's a business guy, but he's always been a music guy first. So when Steve Stout speaks, I listen because he's not always waving the United Masters flag. He's saying this is what's best for music. And I completely agree with his assessment of pushing that. But yeah, let's talk about that Drake situation.
I don't know if we've ever talked about this on this podcast, but you remember the scene in Fight Club where homie is talking about how he has this vision where like all of the Banks and shit have been torn down. All of our debts have been credited, and
Mm-hmm.
they're turning the highways into farms.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying for a long time that that's where the music business needs to go. Like we need to says sanitizing his hands in the house by himself. Um the music business needs to fucking fall apart and be rebuilt. Maybe
It
not fall
does.
apart, but it definitely needs some rebuilding. And indie seems to be the wave. So what was the conversation about Drake? Like, is Drake actually going indie?
So Drake is at a place where he has that option.
Okay.
And I suspect Drake is going to do what Jay Z did. Jay Z did like we have to do deals. We have to do situations with corporate entities and whatever. So the music business is different. We don't make money so much off of music. We make money off of our likeness. We make money off of licensing and things like that. So or touring, concerts, money, like that. So brand deals. When Jay Z started putting out albums with Budweiser and with Samsung and all that stuff and getting that big bag up front. I think Drake, instead of signing another record label, is going to sign a very lucrative administration publishing deal, which means you're going to pay somebody 10 to 15% to go collect your publishing money worldwide,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you don't have to worry about all that because that's a mess. And then he doesn't have to sign to a major label. There's literally nothing a major label could offer Drake.
Right.
Literally, you got OVO. All y'all can get distribution however you want. You can
Right.
put out a song. Drake can put out a song through DistroKid if he wants. It's
Right.
going to do the same thing. It's
It's
still
gonna do the
Drake,
same thing.
right? And you're going to keep most of your money. So what does Drake need? Nothing at this point. So
Right.
I think that, like I said, Hov did the whole Live Nation situation. I think Drake is going to figure out a situation like that. We can position himself with whoever's going to throw the most money at him, and he's going to keep and maintain all of his control, his masters, all that stuff, because we ain't doing nothing else in 2020. You know what I'm saying? He's at
Right.
that point. So that's going to bring him out of that major label system, right? And that's a lot of money lost for those labels because those labels live off of artists like Drake. One
Yep.
artist like Drake can keep the lights on in a whole building.
Yep. That's it. That's it. So anyway, it's a new world. Alrighty. Two things that I want to talk about in terms of albums. Number one, Lil Wayne, which is interesting because we're talking about Drake and we're talking about Drake going indie, and Drake is still signed to Cash Money Records, in case you forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So Wayne started doing Young Money Radio on Apple
Beats
Music,
One?
Beats
Yeah,
One.
Beats One.
Y'all know I could not tell you anything that goes on over there at all. Sorry.
They got a nice office.
And good people. I just don't have any Apple products, and so. But in any case, so in the last month and a half, Wayne. It's almost been like everybody that comes up and asks Wayne, "Do you want to do a project?" He's like, "Sure, yeah, oh yeah, let's do it." So he had Nicki on and they talked about a joint project. Then he had Manny Fresh on and they talked about a joint project. Then, there were rumors about him and Joel Santana going back and doing another version of whatever. I mean, not another version. That Joel Santana Lil Wayne project that those of us over a certain age were really excited about 10, 15 years ago. And those of us under a certain age have never even heard of and did not know that Joel Santana used to rap before he was on Love and Hip Hop.
What?
And had regular
I'm
teeth.
done.
Anyway,
Goodbye.
the latest, Wayne says he's accepting Birdman's proposal to make Like Father, Like Son 2. And if he does that, what?
I don't even think we're gonna care. How many people know Lil Wayne's dropped like 4 projects in the last 2 weeks?
Well,
Nobody.
let's see what Spotify says. Actually, let me not open Spotify right now on my computer.
The crazy thing is, so shout out to Jax the Pro. If you
Did
guys
y'all know
don't
that
know,
Wayne dropped the project, by the way?
probably not. I did, because I check the new music every week. But I'm gonna be honest, it's good. Like it's actually good music. So yeah, there's that part.
My thing is, I'm just like, after the history that you guys have, um, like, why? What
Well,
was
they made peace, so
did they?
yeah.
When
And
it
I think
happened?
they fell out in 2014, and they made peace in 2018.
Did Wayne ever get his money?
I don't know about that part.
Okay.
Well,
Well, anyway,
I think he won a lawsuit.
he
So I don't
did.
know. A lot of people sued Cash Money.
But did he get his money? Anyway, I mean, I guess if he likes it, I love it. If he's down to do another album with this man, then cool. Um, let's see. The announcement came on the season finale of Wayne's Young Money radio show on Apple Music on Friday, July 11th. This is all according to Marissa Mendez at Hip Hop DX.
The
In the
season
video
finale.
clip, Wayne wastes no time accepting the Cash Money CEO's offer for Like Father, Like Son 2. He said, come on, man, that was not a question. You know, I could send you 6 joints. You ain't got to do nothing but put your verses to them. You already know how I do.
Mm.
So, yeah, he interviewed Birdman remotely. So they
Okay.
beefed it up. I just see, like, this is why I don't get caught up in rap beefs for real, because, like, it's just like when your friend is fighting with their significant other and
You
you
know they're
get
gonna
all
get back
mad with
together,
them
right?
and then they go home to dinner or sex and you still mad tomorrow, but they not mad no more. But they done took you all through all this shit. Like
Right.
you were ready, you had a U-Haul, you were ready to go help them pack their stuff, and then they call you tomorrow morning like, girl, we not leaving no more. Anyway, the other album news that I had from this week is that when did Pop Smoke's album drop?
Last week,
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon came out on no shit 3 weeks ago. It came out 4th of July weekend because I was listening to it on 4th of July. It came out July 3rd. Okay, was that 3 weeks or was that 2 weeks? That was 20 days ago.
That was 3 weeks now.
20 days ago. Jesus Christ. And now we have a deluxe Pop Smoke album, which is not abnormal. People do deluxes a couple weeks after the original nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The original was 19 tracks. Niggas went and added 15 more.
So it's Chris Brown album now.
Why is it not just a new album?
I don't know. And they said he's got more on the way. So I'm here for everything they got, but it's just like
Absolutely. But my question is, why are we rushing it? Why are we not giving the first 19 tracks time to live?
because they want to get that money. And they feel like it's hot right now. So we gotta get it out. We gotta get it out.
I hate it here.
Yeah.
I really do. I think we could have sat with this album. I think you could have given us a deluxe version that was maybe 3 new joints, because the deluxe version has let me see, a remix of, I'm trying to see which one is of his songs. There's a song called Yeah Yeah. The deluxe version has a remix with Queen Naija. There's a remix of Enjoy Yourself, which now features Burna Boy. It originally featured Karol G. That's a big deal. I could see that. And there's a remix of Diana, which featured King Combs originally. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now they've added Cowboy. I could see that as well. The rest of these, there's a showing off part 1 and a showing off part 2 featuring Fivio Foreign. They got features from Davido. They've got a feature from PNB Rock. They've got a freaking Jamie Foxx feature. Like, why would you not hold this
It's a
shit?
whole nother album.
And give me a whole nother album in 6 months. Give me a whole nother album for Christmas. Give me a whole nother album to celebrate outside being open. That's not happening this year.
Rod Khan, how are you, my friend?
It's not happening this year. But anyway, like, I was just very, very thrown by this 15 additional songs to a 19 song track album.
You know the United States cut a deal with Pfizer for a coronavirus vaccine that doesn't exist yet?
Holla at me up round 2. I don't want to hear nothing until
Listen, I
I'm
want give me
back to the
give me
lab.
the UK vaccine.
I want the 2.0.
I want the
I don't want
UK one.
anybody's 1.0 vaccine.
I'm gonna roll with the UK's one. I don't want the United States one.
I just don't want the first batch. That's all. And I want them to figure out what the hell they're doing. They're not going to figure out what the hell they're doing. All righty, you guys. Let's get into some new music.
Yeah.
We already talked about Drake. How Drake let us down. J. Cole is back.
With a 2-piece.
He dropped the first 2 singles from his new project, The Fall Off, and he released those as an EP called Lewis Street. You know how we were all like, oh my gosh, you know what really works for J. Cole is when J. Cole doesn't produce his own music? Cole said, fuck y'all, I'm gonna produce my own music anyway.
Maybe that's why these didn't excite me.
So the first joint on here is called The Climb Back, which Drake produced himself. Lion King on Ice was co-produced with Jetson Made and
hey, isn't that the guy who was selling Playboy Cardi's beats?
Is that what that is?
That's the guy who was selling Playboy Cardi's music for Bitcoin.
Well, maybe he needed. Never mind.
Hopefully, he had that one prior to that information.
So it's Jetson Made and somebody from OVO. I'm trying to pull up his name real quick. And Lion King on Ice was actually the one that kind of resonated with me a little bit bigger. Once I got past is this Cole singing? No, this has got to be Black, right? It's Black? It's Black? No, it's Cole.
So I got to listen to both of them again.
Okay.
It's classic me and J. Cole. Like, is it good? Yes. Is he talented? Yes. Does it excite me? Did I hear the music and be like, yo, this is fire? I didn't. That's not how I felt. I felt like it was solid, which is pretty much how I felt J. Cole's entire career. Very solid. He's like Tim Duncan.
He's had a couple joints that excited me.
He's had a couple joints, yeah,
Get
especially recently.
No Role Models.
Yeah, no, he's definitely. I mean, even if you go back to the workout song, like there's always been like 1 or 2 J. Cole joints that I really was like, yeah, that's lit. But on the whole, it's like, I want to shake his hand and say good job, like a real, like not even a dap, but want to give him like a real stiff handshake, like good job, J. Cole.
He's like that.
That was cool.
The kid who thinks that he's the teacher's pet, but he really just irks the teacher's last nerve. It's like, Miss Williams, I did it. Okay, Jermaine, great, thank you. Go sit down.
Good job, Jermaine.
Can I do another one? No, Jermaine.
Yes, all your answers are correct,
extra
Jermaine.
Credit, Jermaine. Just
yes, you got a 100, Jermaine.
Just go sit down. Can I help you wipe the board? No, Jermaine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, that's him.
No, Jermaine. It's fine.
So, and for the J. Cole fans, hey man, listen. Like I said, J. Cole is a great rapper, and it's good music. It just doesn't excite me. It's just his aura, nothing about it is just like, oh my God, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's very serviceable.
You know who got right over that hump for me this week with his new drop?
Who?
Joey Badass.
Okay.
Because I've always felt that way about Joey Badass. Where is there other artists from that kind of subgenre of like nostalgic Brooklyn rap who I really enjoy? Joey Badass has always irked me because, like, why are you rapping like 87, my nigga? Like,
so yeah, and even when he was a kid, I was like, wait, what's going on?
What's happening? Why is this little boy here sounding like 83? I don't understand. Like, you weren't even alive. Like, why are you doing this? But he dropped a new joint this week with Pusha T. Dare I say he outshined Pusha on this joint?
Yeah, I mean, Pusha did his Pusha thing, but I will say that Joey came with it. Pusha did his Pusha thing, which is always going to be a solid verse. Cocaine mentions, that type of vibe. You know what to expect from Pusha.
Right. And he even said, "Oh, all I rap about is crack."
That's a fact.
All right, Push. But no, the joint is called No Explanation. And Joey Badass still kind of gave us some very like bum stickety bum ass
I
rhyme
mean,
patterns.
that's a part of his DNA, and I've come to respect that. I think One Train was probably my Joey Badass. All right, I fuck with you moment, and then after that was also him being on the TV show Mr. Robot. So
Yes.
yeah,
But so I was listening to the song and it was very hard for me not to imagine him as who does he play on the Wu-Tang joint? Does he play Jizza
he plays.
or does he play RZA? He plays RZA.
No, he plays Jizza. Yeah, he don't. No, he don't play RZA. RZA is the other kid, Ashton, the kid who was in
Oh yeah,
Dope.
that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Anyway, that's why I saw rapping is. Like I definitely, but I mean, but it was good. And the other thing too is what I like. So the reason why I said when we were kind of introing the show that inside is starting to get a little bit better than outside is whereas people were just kind of shooting the most basic format, we're stuck in the house, but here's a video anyway type content
Hmm.
early on with this pandemic. Now they're starting to get really creative. So if you go to YouTube and watch the little audio, the official audio visualizer
Oh
for
yeah, he
this
plays
joint,
Inspector Deck. There you go. Thanks,
huh?
Shadi. Yeah, he
Thank
plays
you,
Inspector Deck.
Shadi. But yeah, when you go look at the visualizer for the song, it's actually looks like footage from whatever I saw it listed as voodoo. I'm sure that it wasn't actually voodoo, but whatever ancient tradition ritual Joey recently went through and has talked about. So the visualizer is him surrounded by four priestesses kind of praying over him. And
Oh.
I thought that that was dope. But, it's a good song. Y'all go check that out. It's called No Explanation. Let's see who else we had in here. Jaden Smith impressed me this week. Jaden is singing.
Yo, he really came with it.
It's a little bop. It's a
It's one of my
very
favorites. Yeah,
childish Gambino-ish little bop.
and I'm gonna be honest. It might be a little bit. So when I feel like this is a little bit more natural in the indie rock vibe. I feel like when Childish does it, it's more of a soul indie rock thing. This is
Okay.
more like I'm in that actual indie rock space.
It's the kind of music I wish urban radio would support,
Oh, yeah, this is fine. You know.
but it won't. But it's a really, really good little joint. It's called Cabin Fever. And it's out now. I don't know if he's working on a new project, but it's a cute little summertime love bop. Um, who else? Jhene Aiko gave us a deluxe version of her album and then still gave us a new song. Hers is called Summer 2020, and it's also a cute little bop. She uses the same Kool and the Gang Summer Madness sample that y'all know as the Summertime by Jesus Jeff and Fresh Prince.
Yeah, Summer
Beat.
Madness from Cool in the Gang. Yeah.
And then she shot a video for it in a kiddie pool in her backyard. And it is free of her traditional toxic in love fuckery. So I enjoyed. Who else do we have? I was very surprised. I saw a few people talking about Blue. Blue in Exile dropped a project last week. I felt like the name Blue was familiar, but I really couldn't place it. Then he released a video for a song called Roots of Blue, and I went and listened to it. And I said, "What did I say to you? What in the 1993 is happening here? Maybe 98." It's very Black August, and if those of you who know the Black August movement, it's very what's my man's name? Immortal Technique opening act ish. That's what it gave me.
Yeah, so I'm gonna opt out.
Did you look? But I mean, it's a
I'm
lot of good history in there. It's a lot of like, references to, he's talking about Noah being black and Adam being black and, Shem and a bunch of other people from Greek mythology and the First Testament. No? Did nothing for you?
No, it's cool. I mean, I was a Blue fan back. Like I was a Blue and Exile fan in when he, in the beginning of the blog era when he was really like lit, and it's cool. It's cool, but artistically,
That's it.
like it's for a very certain audience. I feel like for me, there's the art, and then there's the music, and then there's the marriage of the two.
Right.
And I feel like he had a statement to make, and I feel like that statement will resonate with people. It's kind of like how I feel about No Name. You know what I'm saying? Like I think she's super talented, but creatively it just doesn't come all together for me enough to want to listen to her all the time. So far from what I've heard, Song 33 is probably the best marriage of beat and rhymes that I've heard from her since. I've heard Blue murder stuff completely. This just didn't do it for me.
Speaking of marrying style and talent, um, Jadena dropped an album last. Oh shit. Jadena dropped an album last year. I'm sorry, y'all. See, we were talking about not being old, and my knee just popped. I'm sitting down.
You all right?
Jadena dropped an album last year called 85 Africa. The whole concept being that, he kind of bridges the two things that have informed who he is as an artist.
Right.
And 85 to Africa definitely had some songs on there that were more rapish than singish. He just dropped a new joint this week. It's him and Bullsy, which I don't know who that is. Bullish, sorry. And the song is called Black Magic Hour. The visual is dope as fuck. Like it's all kinds of ritualistic things going on, and there's like a part where he's kind of floating in the air. And
So
then
what's the
he's
problem with the song?
Jadena, huh?
What's the problem with the song?
And so he's Jadena, and if you ask me to look at him for 3 minutes, I will do it. But with this particular song, I will do it on mute.
Mm.
And I'm a Jadena fan.
You are.
Like, I need y'all to understand that I am a Jadena fan. Jadena is like, I have 3 or 4 playlists that are like my main playlists, right? So it's like my Liquid Vibey Tings playlist, which is just kind of all things with an international-ish vibe to them.
Mm-hmm.
My workout playlist, my cool out playlist, and my morning awesomeness playlist. Like those are my main 4 that I kind of dump new shit into whenever I discover new shit. Jadena's on all 4 of those. This song, I don't know why. Like he's trying so hard to sell Jadena the rapper.
Well, it's the 85 part, I guess. Got the 85 part, you got the Africa part. I don't know. I think is an amazingly talented dude.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like he's got a dichotomy that he's trying to sell to us, a duality, if you will, as I'm this and I'm this. And I liked 85 to Africa because I feel like it was a good mixture of what he's
Yes.
been trying to sell us.
Yes.
Because Classic Man was so this way,
Yes.
and then and it's cool to have these different personalities and be able to jump around.
Yes.
But sometimes that also works to your detriment.
Yes.
So.
And I've seen him do it. Like you said, Classic Man was all the way over there, but he has a song called Knickers, which is one of my favorite songs ever because it's Knickers as in pants.
Yeah.
Knickers, but the whole thing is a double ensemble.
Right.
Like because he's talking about putting his knickers on, but he's really talking about putting his niggas on. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's a really very creative. He raps on that song. Just didn't know. This just wasn't it.
This wasn't it.
Okay. This wasn't it, y'all. Let me see who else we got. Too Short came through with the Uncle raps. Came through with the Uncle trap music. And I usually not like I'm like the one person on earth that hates Blow Your Whistle or Blow the Whistle or whatever the song whatever that stupid song is that niggas insist on playing. What says like I'm contrarian. We know this. But they always ruin my little twerk sessions because they always feel like that's the song they need to close it out with, and I'd be like, and everybody be like,
Blow Your Whistle. How? Don't be this person. How do you hate Blow Your Whistle?
Because I've heard it too much. I've heard it too much. And because they insist on playing the whole shit every time they play it. I don't know. I really cannot give you the exact. No, I'm not. Fuck that. Next time I go to a club and they play it, I will take a moment to analyze exactly what it is that irks me about it.
Yo, that
But
song
not
is so
even, so
lit.
apparently, Too Short's been doing new music on Tuesdays called Trunk Tuesdays. I don't know if this was the first or just the most recent, but he has a new joint out called Typhoon. And I was like, oh, look, it sounds like your uncle, like it sounds like current, but it doesn't sound like he's trying too hard. And then Sis
Right.
heard it and Sis said,
It sounds like he just discovered trap music.
no, specifically he said it sounds like your uncle just discovered how to use trap beats.
Right. And he'll get there. But it sounds like he's experimenting, like, how's this thing work? Yeah, on that type time.
He's
So
DMX live streaming right now.
yes, he is. I only see 10 niggas.
Only see, shit, we should have called the episode I only see 10 niggas, though we can't actually call it that.
Damn. Maybe we can only see 10 Knickers.
New episode name alert. Lecrae and John Legend have a new joint out called Drown. I feel like I heard John Legend's part and not Lecrae's part. And John Legend's part didn't irk my soul, so there you go.
Yeah, it's a good tune.
It's a
definitely
good song.
Definitely a good song, man. I think Lecrae coming out with an album soon?
I think so.
Okay.
Lecrae also pulled that "How to Win at the Apollo" move, where like, how can you talk shit about the song where the backdrop of the video is like images of Pop Smoke and Naya Rivera and people who have died to police brutality. Your song is great, Lecrae. I'm sorry. And John Legend is awesome on it. And I think that was no. The last new joint I think that we heard this week was Pac-Man by Gorillaz featuring Schoolboy Q.
Mm-hmm.
Gorillaz have a show out called Sound Machine. It is a online show, right? It's a streaming show. It's a little cartoony situation because Gorillaz. That's
That's what they do. Yeah.
It's called Pac-Man. It came out right around the 40th anniversary of Pac-Man, which was last week or this week or sometime within the last 7 days. Y'all know we don't have a concept of time anymore. But there's no Pac-Man sound effects or really references in the song, which is cool.
There you go.
Because, as secretary of the State Property Fan Club, I don't think anybody else should ever touch that Pac-Man other than Beanie Siegel.
Nah, leave it alone.
Leave it alone, friends. Leave it alone. Alrighty. Let's get to album chats. I feel like it was something I was going to say off of one of these songs. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. I missed the thing. So, I don't know who's making decisions, but all of a sudden, everybody's making Latino remixes of records that are already big, and
they're doing one with Afro B.
Afro B is doing a remix of Drogba with homeboy from DR. Why am I blanking on his name? I was just talking about this yesterday. I'm about to tell you, with Ozuna. They shot a video for it before the lockdown.
Yep.
So I'm very curious as to why they decided to hold it till now.
I'm gonna take a late pass. I'm gonna take a late pass on Afro B, but homie is ridiculous.
He's fire. Afro B has a song called Condo with T-Pain that is one of my favorite songs
I
ever.
listened to it.
The video is really cute.
Yeah, it's pretty fire.
Which is why I don't understand why we're putting more energy back into Drogba, because Drogba's been out for like a smooth 2 years.
I mean, maybe they're trying to introduce it to new audiences.
Puerto Rico, no.
No, I mean, maybe they're trying to introduce it to the American audience who now loves everything Latino.
But isn't that the same American audience that now loves everything Afrobeats? They know the song. This ain't for us.
I don't think so because I didn't know it, and I'm pretty tapped in. Like
you didn't know the Joanna song?
No.
Really? So,
and I definitely didn't know Drogba because not only do I know the reference of the song title because I'm a soccer fan. So like, but I never heard it before. I heard it.
This is that Drogba and Joanna is the same song.
Are they?
Yeah, it's the same song. Cause he goes, "How you gonna do me like Drogba?" Like it's the kind of the bridge after the hook. Why you gonna do me
Oh,
like
okay.
Joanna? Okay. And the whole reference being that Drogba is a really good dribbler, and so I guess this girl Joanna is playing around with him. That's
Well,
the idea of the
actually,
inference.
Drogba is good. He's great at what they call hold up play, which means that he can hold the ball and hold you off.
There you go.
So that's actually what it is. Because I was watching the dance and I'm like, okay, it's literally holding somebody off. So I
Right.
get the play on words. That's pretty.
So back when Outside was open, let me see, 2 years ago. It's so funny because last summer, the memory just popped up on my Facebook where I went to an African club last summer and I realized that African DJs' selections of hip hop records are just as bad as hip hop DJs' selection of Afrobeats records. But I don't give a fuck where you go. I take that back. There's like, unless you're going to Wine, unless you're going, so shouts to Work Crew, unless you're going to, like there's a handful of DJs here. I'm blanking on homie's name from Cuckoo Room because I used to always give him props that he would do it. But American DJs know 4 Afrobeats
You're
records.
welcome, Agent
They know
M.
Fall, they know If, they know Yeah by Burna Boy now, and they know this record. They know Joanna.
Wow.
Joanna's been out for 2 years. So I just don't understand, like, if the idea, I don't think the idea is selling it to American audiences that now love everything Latin. I think that because I think that what's moving Latin in the US right now is still mostly kids who are of Latin descent. Some stuff crosses over, but J Balvin needed Beyonce to get y'all's attention.
Did he?
Just them, not us, me and you.
Okay. Yeah. Let me take myself out a bit.
But yeah, I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. I
But
pulled a Sis.
I think primarily like you have that like the song was made for that English African audience primarily,
Okay.
and Afrobeat is for it's for English consumption as a market because
Right.
that's the market, that's the bigger market where African music, and African people live. Obviously,
Right.
African Caribbean culture. If you go to London or even in France, like
So to give you kind of that frame of reference for people from the wider diaspora, right? If you're in the Caribbean, the big place to go to for opportunities is the US for the most part.
right,
If you're from Jamaica, if you're from some of the British colonies, former British colonies, then you might make it to the UK. So there's a large Caribbean population in the UK and in
right,
Toronto as well. For a lot of African countries, that place where they send their kids off for better opportunities for college, whatever, it's either going to be
it's England.
London or it's going
Yeah,
to be France based on which language is spoken there or whatever.
right. Yeah, so if
So
you're from
that
Cameroon,
whole
yeah,
the majority of the Afro beats and Afro wave artists that you guys know are actually
English.
like Tiwa Savage is English. Like if you
Right.
hear
Yeah.
Tiwa speak, she has like a
English. Yeah.
huge British
Absolutely English.
accent.
Yeah.
She's Nigerian. She identifies as Nigerian, just like
Right.
I identify, I'm Haitian, but I wasn't born there. Same with Burna Boy. Burna Boy is from the
Right.
UK.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Afrobeat, and then when you have that soccer reference, this shit was not made for us in the US, my nigga,
Right.
at all. But I'm still saying, yes, I want to see Afrobeat and Ozuna do a song.
But I think
I want
it's
them
dope because
remixing this 2-year-old song.
yeah. But I think it's dope because I think still it gets them over this way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just being in that European audience. That European audience isn't probably as impressed by putting a Latin artist on there.
Oh, and they did a remix of this song with French Montana already. It was trash.
Ooh.
I mean, it wasn't really trash. Like, it wasn't really a remix. It was the same song. They just put a French Montana verse on it.
Okay.
And then him jumping in at the beginning talking about something. You have to give it to them. Anyway.
No.
So that's coming.
I love when French goes back and tries to be African.
I mean,
it's always fun.
He is. I don't even know why he's trying so hard.
But he doesn't have to try. Like, bro, you are. Just be you.
It's fine. And then St. John did a remix of Roses. It's called the Beck remix.
Mm-hmm.
It features J Balvin. I guess Beck is part of the Latino Gang Collective. Yeah, I don't think we needed this either. I'm sorry.
I mean, it can exist. Do we need it?
You told me to turn it off on like 30 seconds.
Because I knew what it was about. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I wasn't in, it wasn't a good song. It was just like, okay, I get it. You get it within 30 seconds. You understand what the song is.
It's the club version.
Right.
Which is the part that cracked me up. It's like, okay, so let's make this, like, let's take St. John. Okay, we did a remix with Future, but now let's take this and make it Latin. How do we make it Latin? Right. I know, make it Vegas ready.
Okay, does anybody remember all the versions of All the Way Up?
No, I don't.
If I want you to, this is your homework. I want you to go look up all the versions of All the Way Up. Because there's a West Coast version, there's a Latin version, like All the Way Up. I think there's an African version, and these are all officially sanctioned versions.
All the Way Up by
Remy and Fat Joe.
Okay.
I mean, literally. And I didn't know this, but this is the aim when they do these types of things. They're just trying to capture each subsection of a group, like, okay, cool, let's do something for the Spanish people, let's do something for the Black people, let's do something for the Caribbean folks, let's do something
basically, since Spotify knows that I don't listen to St. John, but I do listen to J Balvin and Ozuna, they were like, here's a song you haven't heard because you're foreign of some type. Here, take that.
Exactly. So it's the way to sneak in those algorithms. You know what I mean? Gotcha. Like it's all that type. It's contrived.
Heard you.
Because the trap audience was like, who? And then they're like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's that dude from that song with Beyonce.
Right, yeah.
No, that's the guy from I Like It. Yeah, okay. Got it now. Got it. All right. Things that came out last week. Did you listen to Black Thought? I know you listened to Black Thought.
Yeah, I listened to Black Thought.
I figured that like it was probably implanted in your veins.
Didn't we talk about that though?
Huh?
We talked about it.
We talked about it coming out. It hadn't come out yet last time.
And then he dropped the video.
Yes, and we talked about the video and how he was rapping, and there was going to be a lot of rapping.
Yeah, man. Thought is he's who we thought he is. Mm-hmm. One of the most rapidy rap people on the planet, and I mean that in a good way.
King of it.
I mean that in an absolutely great way. That man is an MC's MC.
Yes.
So, and his I've never listened to Black Thought and been like, I don't like this. His voice is an instrument. Black Thought's voice is literally
have one of the best voices
an instrument. Like people going to be like, yo, let's play the Black Thought.
So how's the project?
It's pretty solid.
We didn't do a credit check on it? Huh. Are there any features on this project? Oh, because he dropped the track list before he dropped the album, so we did see the features that were on there, and it was mostly like unknowns, right? Like there wasn't any big name features on there.
Nope.
Correct. Anything stand out to you other than the single?
No, not really. I mean, they're all kind of in that same vibe, that same lane, really.
So let me ask you a question. I sound like I'm about to say some real disrespectful shit. I'm not though. What is the mood that you're in when you put on a Black Thought, not the Roots, a Black Thought, most of these songs ain't finna have hooks as album? Like what space do you have to be in?
Just a space where you want to hear frantic raps. Like it's almost like a watching we used to sit and watch like people rapping on the DVDs or whatever, where they do like those, they go in and it'd be them in the camera and they'd be spitting their rhymes or whatever. It's that same type of energy. So if you were like into that like Too Raw for the Streets, like DVD rap, you know what I'm saying? Almost like the early battle stuff where people would have like they just go in on the camera. It's that kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying?
So it is not something that you put on and just kind of listen to in the background. It's something that you hone in and pay attention to. Like it's performative rap. Like you're listening to a Black Thought album to listen to the album. Like it's not a soundtrack to another activity.
Right. Now, also just to let you, I think the album drops on the 31st, actually.
Oh, it's not out yet?
Yeah, it drops on the 31st.
Okay. My bad, Darren. And
Yeah,
says that I
it's
thought
Stream of
that y'all
Thought
missed it.
3. But if you listen to the Stream of Thoughts before it, it's that's kind of the space that I would be in when I'm listening to Black Thought. I know what he's gonna do. But like I said, I'm from Philly, so I've been listening to Black Thought my whole life. I kind of know what to expect. But if I was just an average rap fan, that's the kind of space I would have to be in. It's not going to be a dance space. It's not going to, you just got to listen. Like, just shut up
So
and listen to the
is it like
bars.
road trip music?
It could be
Okay.
because the one thing about Black Thought, a lot of his rapping is frantic. Like when I say his voice is an instrument, like he literally
Yes.
like his pacing and the storytelling and what he's saying, you get kind of caught up in the bars. Like you really have to be like in a space where you listening to the words because he's
Yes.
shit. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So that's like the space that I be in when I'm listening to Black Thought.
So there's 2 songs on here that I'm actually really, really looking forward to. Which he has a song called "Good Morning" featuring Swiss Beats and Pusha T and Killer Mike, which really means Swiss made the beat and is going to be on there yelling, which I'm
Or he
fine
might
with.
not have. Swiss does a lot of hook stuff and he didn't make the beat.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm here for a Swiss hook, is what I'm saying. I'm here for Swiss hyping up the record and making me feel like it's giving it energy. He's good for that. Like he's like a less obvious Fat Man Scoop. And it and then there's another joint on here called Steakum featuring Schoolboy Q. Like I'm here for that as well.
Yes, I am
I'm
here
here for
for
that. I
that
don't know
too.
why I thought this project was out already. Psych, you guys, just playing. Um, who did drop a project though was Leanne LaHavis, and I actually went and listened to that
Oh,
and realized that I've never heard one before,
oh snap! Featuring Lil Uzi.
and I really enjoyed it.
Did
It
you?
was good. Yeah, it was good. Like clean your house music. Like it was good. It was good. My house is clean. My incense is lit. Let me fix myself a late lunch music. That's what it is.
Oh.
I don't think I can give you guys a more descriptive version or a more descriptive description of a project. What else? There was something else that came out that I wanted to ask you about, and I can't think of what it was. But I did want to shout out UFO Fev, who dropped an
Is it
EP
Fev
with
or is it Feeve?
terminology. Huh?
Is it Feeve or is it Fev?
I don't know.
I want to go with Feeve because I feel
Listen,
like it's short for fever.
is it?
I don't
I'm
know,
sorry, my
but
AC keeps cutting on. Anyway, he dropped an EP with terminology. It's called From the Barrio with Love. So it's already telling you what you can expect. So he got a new project out, a new EP, and I Am Sue dropped a mixtape, which I don't know why I'm excited about that. Like you remember when like there was like a wave of Cali artists that all came out, but then I've said before that like they legit could have gave all the singles to one nigga.
right.
It was like I Am Sue. It was what's his name? The guy who sang that like a red nose joint.
Oh God. So I am Suze. That's the guy from the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, he's from the Bay.
Okay.
Homeboy that I'm thinking about, he's from the Bay as well. Like it was like 5 or 6 of them that like really you could have gave all the songs to one person and
Sage
let
the
him rock.
Gemini. Remember him?
Sage the Gemini, that's his name. I knew it was one of those types of names. So I want to go check those 2 out as well that came out last week. All right, since we are nearing 2 hours, this is the second to last release weekend of the month of July. July's been a really long month.
And we're not really going to talk about this guy, but yes, we got to talk about the
We're
fact
just
that
going
he
to throw
might
up
be putting
prayers for
out
the
an
homie.
album. So, okay, well, let's just talk about what's going on top to bottom. Blueface is
Yeah, right.
dropping Famous Crip Reloaded.
But that was supposed to come out last week. Like he's doing the same thing he did with trying to find the
With
beat.
trying to find a beat because he didn't find the beat.
Ah.
So, Boldy James and Sterling Tolles, Manger On.
Manger on McNichols.
Is that the whole name?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
okay.
whole name.
Manger
Manger on
On
McNichols.
McNichols. I was hoping it wasn't.
Manger on like soldier on.
Currency and Harry Fraud. La Musica de Harry Fraud. I am excited to hear Harry Fraud back. Harry Fraud is one of my favorite producers.
Yes, and the first single from that project is out already. And guess what? This time we don't have to worry about Currency not crediting producers.
There you go. You know. It's called The Outrunners. That's coming out this weekend.
Excited about that.
Earl Sweatshirt. I swear, I thought Feed Clay Deluxe was coming out earlier. Maybe they pulled it back. Earl Sweatshirt.
I felt like maybe we talked about it like when we looked at like all that's coming out this month.
Okay.
Or maybe it got pushed back. I'm not sure.
Wanna Deluxe. Gunna's album. Got a deluxe version with some new tracks on there. And then the homie Logic, who announced that he is retiring and then signed a $1 million deal with Twitch, is dropping his last album called No Pressure. Logic is leaving rap alone to go be a dad and a family man. And he's tired of y'all talking about.
I was like, has Logic rapped long enough to announce a retirement? And then I went back and I looked and I was like, oh shit, never mind, my bad.
So he's tired of y'all talking about him being biracial. So this is his.
He talks about him being biracial. Didn't he make a song about being biracial?
Tired of y'all talking about him talking about being biracial.
Shut up, leave me alone. You
it's hard
just
out here. Y'all, if y'all ain't biracial, y'all don't know. Let that man be biracial. But no, shout to him for signing a $1 million deal with Twitch. He's an avid video gamer.
Do gaming streaming.
Gaming, music, conversations, gonna be like a little Logic TV show.
Yeah, and that started yesterday. And he is going to be hosting, or I guess maybe he probably did it yesterday, a listening session for the album through Twitch.
Also, we got House from Lupe Fiasco and Kaylin Ellis. We listened to one of the singles was Shoes. We listened to Shoes from that album last week.
So I'm not listening to anything else in.
NLE Choppa is dropping Top Shotter, which I'm sure all the young kids with guns in their profiles on every social media platform young kids are on or is waiting on. Y'all love that guy. And then our favorites. Taylor Swift announces.
Wait, I just realized she dropped. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Taylor Swift announces she is dropping an album because
tonight
she ain't got nowhere else to go, and it's COVID-19 and she's stuck in the crib. So
she made a project. It's called Folklore.
Folklore, it is. And
she's giving you a regular version and deluxe version both tonight.
Yep, 16 tracks. It only has one feature.
The deluxe is only one extra song, from what I can tell. And I was thinking,
Bon Iver, right?
Taylor said she is not about to go fight Beyonce next weekend because Black is King comes out next weekend.
Yes,
or next Friday on Disney Plus. And hopefully by then somebody will have shared their password with me. It's not going to be Sis. I've given up on that.
And last but not least, it's been a long week.
Taylor's dropping on the same day as your boy.
If he drops. Because we know he has a history of saying that something's coming out and not coming out. So I'll be checking Mike Dean's feed to see if it's coming out. Because Mike Dean is the one who ends up in the hospital trying to make sure that this shit gets done at the last second. So it might come out tonight. It might come out Saturday at 12 in the afternoon. It might never come out. But Donda is supposed to be dropping from Kanye West. It's been an eventful week. If you've been following social media,
it's been a sad week. It's been a sad week to me. It's been a sad week. I know a lot of people seem to be of the impression that Kanye, it's just convenient that Kanye always, seems to have an episode or a breakdown around the release of a project. But if you know how creativity works and you kind of have an understanding of how bipolar disorder works, and you know that this is a person who has said to you that he has to come off of his meds because he feels like his meds stifle his creativity. It absolutely makes sense that he would work on a project and then break the fuck down at the end of working on that project.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I don't know how many people have friends or family members that suffer from bipolar disorder. When you see them go into their manic state, or even when you see them on their meds, like when you see them on their meds, it's almost like they're not all the way there.
Right.
Like, and you can tell, like they're chill and that part of them has a personality and you get used to that person, you get used to them being on their meds. But then when they're not on their meds, it's scary, but you also see like they're free. It's also a freedom, like, oh shit, that's actually you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's the balance that people have to deal with. And a lot of folks don't really understand, and they don't want to understand because Kanye is a caricature to them. You know, Kanye is somebody for their entertainment. But
Yes.
what we got to realize is this is an actual human being, an
Yeah.
actual person. It's
Yeah.
somebody's dad, somebody's husband, and we got to be cognizant of that. So,
Somebody's grieving son who feels responsible for his mother's death. And as somebody's grieving daughter, as two people's grieving daughter, I can tell you, Yaka, like you don't get over it. Like
and
you
having
figure it
mental
out.
illness on top of that type of trauma, you know,
That he
I've
may or
been
may not have had before his mother passed. I mean, if you
right.
remember, Kanye's whole persona was always that Kanye threw tantrums and went on rants and, stomped his feet and really wanted y'all to understand who he was as an artist and all this other stuff.
And another
Um,
thing is that mental illness sometimes rears itself. It evolves over time. So as you get older, a
mm-hmm.
lot of folks start to develop it in their mid late 20s, early 30s, and we've seen Kanye each year have these different episodes and go through these things at least since 2016, when he asked Mark Zuckerberg, for money or whatever, and he was dealing with some stuff, and they addressed it at that moment. And every year we kind of think, oh, Kanye's this, Kanye's that, but I just want Kanye West to find peace because I don't want anything bad to happen to Kanye West. I don't want
Right.
anything bad to happen to anybody. But it's just weird to see people on social media um, taking these stances, and none of them are actually to help Kanye West. You got
Well,
fans
so
that are trying to talk away. Oh well, he's not this and he's not that. Like we don't know that. We're not
right.
his doctor. We're not his wife. We're. It's just it's ugly. It's a mess. I don't even want to talk about it. It's just ugh.
The other thing, and this will be the last thing that we say about it, and the last thing that we say, period, because the show is long as fuck already. And shouts to Anatomē who has to edit it expeditiously and get it up for you guys. Pause. Jesus, sorry. Um, the other thing is that while we have normalized talking about going to therapy, and dealing with emotions and certain emotions, um, I can tell you as somebody who deals with actual anxiety that people don't get it. Like, unless you've gone through it, unless you've watched somebody go through it, and even if you've watched somebody go through it, like, I don't know that you necessarily get it unless that person is really, really close to you. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's very easy for people to dismiss it. It's very easy for people to dismiss it.
Yeah,
Like,
because you don't live with it every day. Like I have a really close member of the family, but I don't live with them every day. And one of my family members does, and they have to deal with that every day. I get to walk away, or not even walk away, but I get to go home.
go home. Yeah.
It's like
You have to
having
take a break.
kids, right? Like you might be an auntie or an uncle, but you get to drop the kids back off. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's tough because I see how much it affects that person. I see how much it affects the people around them, their immediate family, their kids, their loved ones, the people that literally have to deal with them every day. So,
And it's just
I'm not here for the whole judging Kim and judging people and throwing the mud. Like we don't know. We don't know.
we don't know. And that's the thing, it's a perfect storm for a lack of empathy because of the Kardashian brand and what people think the Kardashian brand represents. And because y'all been wanting to believe this narrative that he's being controlled by those people. And so, yeah, when he jumps on social media and starts, talking, I don't want to say talking crazy like I'm being dismissive, but talking reckless maybe, because that's not a conversation that you should be having on social media when you have however
Well,
many
it,
millions of followers Kanye has.
it's clearly manic because it's incoherent.
It's
And
incoherent. It don't make sense.
We know Kanye could, like we've had years and years of Kanye. We know
Even when
Kanye's
he's
a
ranting, he's
right.
been a coherent
But we
person.
know Kanye's a smart ass dude.
Very.
He knows he's eloquent. He knows how to express himself. When you see people go on these rants and they're just typing and the thoughts are jumbled and all that, it's a clear case of it not being coherent. It's manic.
So yeah, my
So
heart goes out to his family because I don't think um Like that got to be hard. You know what I'm saying? And then nowadays these kids are all on their phones. These kids all on TikTok, whatever, whatever, whatever. Now you trying to scramble, make sure your 7-year-old is not seeing that her dad is. It's a lot. It's a lot. So y'all just pray for the homie. You don't have to listen to the album if it actually comes out. I told somebody that unlike that other guy from Chicago, I don't ever think that I'll be at a place where I don't want to listen to any Kanye West music at all.
As much as I say I want to be, I'm never going to be there.
Yeah, no,
My
I'm
life
never
is,
throwing out the first
you
3
know,
albums.
the one thing I'll say is Kanye is larger than life, and that's one of the things that I can respect about him because in music I never wanted to be that because I never wanted to assume the type of responsibility that Kanye West has to fans, to his other creatives. Like Kanye West is he takes care of people. He pays entire salaries. He's giving people entire lives. I have friends who owe their livelihoods to Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? And that's dope for a
Yeah.
black man to help other black people be successful and live. And I will never, ever, ever not have a space for Kanye West, even though
Shit, on
at
a
the same
much
time,
lower level than that, Kanye got me through my last ever retail job. Like I used to listen to Spaceship every break.
yo, wow.
Every break. Spaceship is the reason why I didn't fuck my manager up in real life. So anyway, guys, that's
Okay,
going to do it for us today. We did not quite break down what the show is, so allow me to do that real quick. This is
go
the
for it.
Chopping Block Podcast, which is the audio iteration of 2 sections on the iStandardProducers.com website. One is the credit check, which is the most comprehensive listing of album credits you will find on these Insta-webs, courtesy of Sis and his team, Young Darren and Michelangelo. And the other is our track by track album review called The Chopping Block. And we have called a list of 10 albums that came out this year that we want to kind of say were the superlatives of the year so far. And we're going to gather our motley crew of reviewers and, talk about those projects for you. So stay tuned for that. And as always, he is Scissorp215 on all platforms.
And she is at St. Boogie. Make sure you Google her as well because she's important.
Am I?
You
I'm
are.
just,
And
I'm
make sure
just,
y'all follow the news that this lady's
yes, please.
providing on a daily basis.
Watch yesterday's news coming up shortly today. And then, of course, the show is at the Chop Block Pod on everything except for Instagram, where we are at Chop Block Pod. The platform is at iStandard. Shouts to Bounce Gang and our whole entire creative fam. And we will holler at y'all next week. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Please cover your nose.